This is the Car Camp Seattle channel. Hello. I have officially reached hibernation season. I felt this about 2 weeks ago when we began to have less daylight here in Seattle. I call it hibernation mode because it started to get colder and rain every day. But for those that don't know, Washington has pretty dramatic changes in daylight hours when the seasons change. In the summertime, it can stay daylight until 9 or 10 in the evening. But in the winter, it starts to get dark at about 3 in the afternoon. Days can seem longer in the summer, as if you have more time to do things and run errands. But in the winter, once it gets dark, I start to think about dinner time and going to bed. So, for me, the reason I call it hibernation season is that it's still dark in the morning when I go to work, and it's already dark by the time I get off work at the end of the day. The cold weather makes me want to huddle in a warm blanket, and ultimately, I just want to stay in bed. This is where I start to blame my problems on laziness. I just get in a rut where I don't want to do anything. Maybe you can relate to this? For instance, I would say I'm someone who cares about my appearance and how I present myself for work, as far as dressing professional, but some days I just want to put on a big warm hoodie sweatshirt and not deal with the world. I also have long hair. If I don't take care of it, it can get all matted up, but some days I don't feel like dealing with it. It can take an hour just to blow dry it after washing it, and if I just leave it to air dry in the cold weather, that makes me feel even colder. Well, some days I just want to cut it all off. I need to find motivation during these times. I know I have a ton of things to do, and I know I have things like laundry and cleaning and organizing that need to be done, but I start to feel overwhelmed, and I think this is why I start to shut down, because sometimes it's just easier to do nothing than to deal with the never-ending to-do list in my head. I've heard this is why people resort to doom scrolling on their phone for hours a day instead of doing something productive, because sometimes you just need to zone out for a little while, or a long while. What's some things you've avoided doing today? Taking out the trash? Washing those dishes you left in the sink? Cleaning your cat's litter box? Those are all things you know need to be done. But these are not fun things to do. So what do you do to stay motivated? What's some tips and tricks you've used to get everything done? Leave a comment for myself and others to read so that we can all motivate each other. Otherwise, I might just stay in hibernation mode until after the holidays. How about you? What's your plan?